I'm going to ask Bachi Karkaria to first say a few words about my dad, and then I'll add a few words also, and then I want to just introduce the presenting partner for our Lit Fest, Vianar, without whom this would, and just a short video will be played also. So, and welcome everybody. It's so lovely to see such a full house on the first morning itself. Come, but you say a few words.
Is that on?
Yeah.
Hi, good morning, everybody. And Rahul, thanks for cheating. Because I was supposed to follow after you, but it's okay. So, welcome to this morning. And I'd like to say that for this particular session and the next 3 days, my name is not Bachi Karkaria, but it's Bachi Kaur Singh. And I hope you'll accept that. And that's because I think I'm far more invested in Khushwant Singh, if not this festival, than Rahul, who has delegated the responsibility to me. The honor should really go to Nelufa, who is the force behind the festival, both the brain and the brawn, if I may say so. But how many of you have been to KSLF before? I know lots have. All right. And how many knew Khushwant Singh? Okay. All right, I get the picture. But what I'd like to say, and something that I've said before, that I have shared something that none of you have shared ever, and that is that none of you have slept in the same bed. Not the same bed. Have slept in Khushwant Singh's bed. I slept in it separately, and I'm sure none of you have worked with him as an editor. And so that is really the bit that I always like to stress whenever I'm called to speak here, because all of you know him as this acclaimed novelist, as certainly this global authority on Sikhism, and even as a columnist. But none of you know what he really did as an editor. Because he, as an editor, for the first time, brought in editing copy and a magazine that was both relevant and readable. And the whole generations of editors who have come after him have tried to emulate that, not very successfully, because it's usually either relevant and boring or it's readable and flippant. So to get this combination is truly and truly a rare art. And those two words, readable, relevant, are in a way serendipitously echoed, the two R's are echoed in the theme of today's festival, renewal and resilience, or resilience and renewal. Now, if I were writing my column, I would a satirical column, I'd say we need great resilience to cope with the so-called renewal that is happening in our cities and even in our natural environments. But I don't know whether that is the case where you live, but certainly in Bombay, we are getting death by development because infrastructure is destroying everything, and it's destroying a lot for the future because it's concretizing all the holding ponds, all the open spaces where water used to sink into the ground and renew the water table. And at the same time, it's creating floods where we are. When we look around this year at Kasauli, we have not had, Kasauli has not, or these hills have not had the kind of rains that were there last year. But last year, if you recall, if you were here, there had been all these landslides, And the driver actually said, "Ye jo ghar upar pahad mein tha, ab yahan, it's in the valley." So, and we all faced the road works that were going on as we came up the hills. And truly, I think the damage that is happening in the hills is far, far worse than what is happening in the cities. Because in the cities, somehow we can, get back what we've lost. But what we lose in nature is impossible to get back. And I think that is why this is really a key element of KSLF for several years now, right, Rahul? So now I kind of really leave you to the next 3 days of discussion, which are both relevant and riveting. So again, following Khushwant Singh's pattern. And so enjoy yourselves and welcome again.
Thank you, Bachi. As Bachi said, she probably knew my dad better than me because she worked with him for many years, and I think she followed in his footsteps in many ways. But I'd like to thank Colonel Bhaskar for that lovely morning music, and Nirupama for having brought him here. You said that you're not a professional singer, but when you sing from the heart, it becomes as professional as anybody. And you really started the morning very well. I'll just say in 2 or 3 minutes what I felt, and you might have heard some of these stories before. What I felt were the characteristics of my father. One was that he spoke his mind. He didn't care whom he offended, but he wanted to say whatever he wanted to say. And I'll tell you a true story about how he used to write all these columns. With the end of the column, there was always a Santa Banta joke. And I think people love that. And the Santa Banta jokes used to be sent to him mainly by Sardarjis themselves. So he got one day, I was in the room with him, he received a very official letter from the SGPC. If you all know, SGPC is the highest authority of the Sikhs, the Shiromani Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee. And that letter said that we will, if you don't stop your Santa Banta jokes, you will be called a Tankhaya, means you will be expelled. So my dad thought about it and he wondered what to do and all that. Now, my father used to send postcards to anybody who wrote to him. Simple postcards, because he liked to communicate. He was a great communicator. He liked to communicate with whoever wrote to him. So he then got hold of a postcard, one of those ordinary postcards, and he addressed it to the SGPC just with 3 words: go to hell. And he never heard from them again. So then another thing was that he never took himself seriously. He felt that we as a people take ourselves much too seriously. He never took himself seriously. And once he used to show to all his friends who came a letter that he received from abroad, from somebody obviously who didn't agree with him. And the letter was just addressed simply, Khushwant Singh, bastard India. And then he used to show to everybody, look, even the post office knows where I stay, because there's nothing else written there. So he used to like to, and that was his kind of sense of humor. And then another last one I'll tell you is also about his, again, sense of humor, and again a true story, and Bachi might have been working with him at that time, but he gets a call from Nargis, the famous Nargis. And Nargis says, can I come and see you sometime? So my dad says, Nargis, are you the famous Nargis? So she said, yeah. So she comes to the office and she tells him that, I have a son who studies at Sanar school. That was, of course, Sunil Dutt. and Sanjay Dutt, sorry, Sunil Dutt was her husband. So Sanjay Dutt, and I can't find anywhere to stay because I want to come for the Founders Day, and I can't find anywhere to stay. So she said, I believe you've got a house here in Kasoli, and could you, if you have a spare room, could I stay there just for those 3 days or so? So my dad thought a bit, and then he said, I'll let you stay there on one condition. So she was a little puzzled. So he said, on the condition that I can tell everybody that Nargis slept in my bed. So she had a good laugh, and she used to repeat the story to all her friends. So that's just the humorous part, and there was always a serious side to his humor. So I'll leave it at that. And William, I think it's your turn now to come. And William, just please look around you. This is the biggest opening that we have ever had of the opening thing. Yeah. This is the famous William Dalrymple, who's made India his home, really. You have to introduce him, yeah.
So I have to say,
Sorry, Bachi, one last, which I almost forgot. Now, this Lit Fest has, to a large extent, been made possible by our presenting partner, who I mentioned earlier, Vianar. Vianar is building eco-friendly homes. They're one of the biggest developers. They were in Goa. They've been in Goa still. And they are building eco-friendly homes in Kasoli and around the region there. I'm just going to have a short presentation, just 1 minute or 2 minutes on VNR.
I think what I really like about Goa is there's something for everybody out here.
This whole idea came into mind that why not do something in Goa? And we started VNR. Going out there, finding a piece of land, imagining a project on that land, and seeing it come to life, just a great feeling.
For me, my home is a place where I actually go to relax and be happy. That is the kind of a space it should be for everybody. When we are creating a home, it's about creating a space for everybody to find that comfort zone. So I think the most important thing when you're designing a space is ease of use. How is the person who's going to use the space feel when they're using it?
We believe that our relationship with our homeowners doesn't really end when we hand over the keys. We feel that's just the beginning. We would have housekeeping services. We would have an estate manager at every property. Real estate here, it's our responsibility to include the local people.
We try and use natural cleaning products. We have a sprinkler system which is watering the plants regularly.
And the whole idea is just to make it totally hassle-free. They want to be taken care of while they are here, and their home should be taken care of while they're away.
So ultimately, we create homes that inspire us.
We build homes that we want to live in.
If you want to know more about Vienna, they have a nice stall there. And as I said, they're building eco-friendly homes all around this region. Thank you. Come, Bachi, come.
You know, when people introduce a speaker, they say, now I'm going to call onto the stage a speaker who needs no introduction, and then they speak for like 20 minutes. But I'm just going to leave with just one idea, and William is not just a fantastic researcher, writer. He's discovered India for us a great deal. But he's also a great pillar of literature festivals.
A two-room Basati in Golf Links. And in order to get to Khan Market, I had to pass the flat of Khushwant Singh in Sujan Singh Park.